Hey, so officially, this is episode number one of the podcast that I promise will get better and better as we go on. It's called Hotel Stand Up. Deeper conversations into the world of hotel management, and hotel ownership in the United States. And the first episode doesn't really have a name except it says when a hotel, well, it's when a hotel tragedy strikes. And this is not clickbait, but it has to do with everything that we're going to be talking about, such as when a hotel has a fire and burns to the ground. This is a personal, very true story that I will be uploading. Hopefully, if I figure out how to do that, some clips, very fast ones, because right now it's like 30 minutes long. I'm going to share my screen very quickly and tell you what we're going to be talking about. Um, Sorry. And and so this is not a good start. Sorry. But my brother Matt, thank you. Uh and also thank you to a wonderful podcast that I've learned a lot from called The Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett. Dude, you got a way about you that speaks directly to me and my soul. So thank you. You made a your first episode of your solo one-on-ones, which is kind of what this is. You talked about consistency, and I've been doing a lot of work for the past few years, but have been very inconsistent in sharing my views and insights, and which are all about the hotel and hospitality industry in the United States and the the personal value of employees, of managers and leaders and entrepreneurs, um, and um, everything that goes along with that. So we have a live event series that we had just recently become consistent about every Thursday at 3 o'clock. That's with my brother Matt and Agile Game Changers, where we highlight and celebrate and honor hospitality managers and leaders that are just doing it. They're doing amazing things, starting companies, side income, creating great value and amazing networks of people and supportive uh, people to for them to lift up, but also they end up lifting up them too. So um, yeah, this one's it's a true story, and it tells the story of. I'm going to start at the end with this little intro and try to keep it to just maybe 1 minute longer, and then I'm going to try to tell it a little bit more clearly. So here it is. Here, nope. Again, not a great start. But let me see if I can share my screen on a window here. Okay, I'm with it now. Okay, so here's the. I'm sharing my screen. So, all right. So this is a situation that I had to ask myself, and this is what to do when a hotel tragedy strikes. When a hotel has a fire and is closed, you'll find out at the end that nobody ended up getting hurt, luckily. But what happens when the investigation happens, and I, in this case, was not an owner, but I was involved, and I discovered that what happens, what do you do when a hotel tragedy strikes and you discover the cause was owner's negligence, not what the insurance company investigated or even found? And so this story goes back months prior. And this is a quick detail of what was found. Now, I'm not taking credit for finding it just by myself, but this is what was found. The hotel was purchased for about $10 million. It's an average size hotel. No details will be offered here, by the way. So, the certified hotel asset manager was directed to enhance the value of the asset by $1 million. So, hoping for a 10% increase in value within year one. And the intention was to sell the hotel in year two. What happened was the revenues stayed flat, and the total expenses were decreased by $95,000, or in this case, 4.2%, by eliminating one management position and reducing the management fees with the new contract. Okay. This is a fact on average that for every 1% of net operating profit increase, or NOI, so every 1% of NOI increase, the hotel asset value increases by about $375. And I can go into more detail about how that's found, but that's about average. The $95,000 that was in cost reduction, it resulted in after year one, the BOV, or the broker's opinion of value, after it was purchased for 10 million, a year later it was then valued at 11,875,000. The asset manager did receive an increase in salary and a bonus that came to about 12,500 for exceeding the goal of what was required by ownership. And then but the management company, or the management at also the property level, did not receive any bonuses or an incentive management fee that was in the contract, because revenues were flat. Okay, so the overall asset value increased essentially by a reduction in expenses. Now, I'm going to. This is a video of me talking about an episode of The Office. Okay, so it's a funny episode, and I highly recommend it. There's a disclaimer here that says if NBC or The Office wants me to take it down, I will. But it's an episode, season 3, episode I think 13, where Dwight quits a few weeks earlier, and this is the clip where Michael realizes that Dwight was doing things for the office that he didn't realize Dwight was doing. And so essentially it's a you don't know what you got till it's gone situation for Michael, and he realizes, oh wow, there's a culture ditch here, and it's being filled by something else that is not as valuable to Michael. So he goes out and finds Dwight and tries to do everything he can to bring him back. So I'm going to go all the way to the end, okay? The end is a fire, essentially. Well, not essentially, but a fire. The hotel catches on fire. We don't own. This is not the actual hotel. This is just a scrape from the internet. We give credit to the owner. We don't own the photo. Nobody was injured. The hotel did close, and then it was eventually sold a year later. It's no longer a hotel, and from the newspaper it said it was accidental. So what I am going through on this first episode is going back in time over that past year at that hotel. The, Nobody's fault. This is not pointing fingers. Okay. But what happened was it has to do with the chain of engagement between owner. I don't know if you can see this, but owner, management company, property level management, and then employees at the property level. That engagement chain was bent and then broken and not replaced. Very similar to how Michael thought there's something missing here and it's Dwight. And he went out there to replace it with Dwight. In this case of this story over the year, it wasn't even realized that there was something missing when a request for action to be taken to replace some of the people who left, such as this person here. He was Eddie, I called him. These are fake people, by the way. These are just, pictures of people and also fake names. Um, Eddie was an 8-year employee at the hotel, and he took pride in coaching and teaching people in major areas such as safety. He was a laundry attendant, okay? Full-time laundry attendant. Um, and he took great pride in making sure that the chemical training, such as bleach and ammonia, that doesn't mix, creates a chemical reaction. So he was always telling people about that. And he also kept the dryer lint of the industrial dryers for cleaning linens and terry for the hotel was always clean, and the air ducts were always clean, and he was in charge of that. Well, he ended up leaving for very good reasons, and also a couple other people left for very good reasons, and it was replaced because this is what great hospitality managers do, right? They come together and they make it work. And so that's where this goes into detail here, right? So Michelle here is new. The general manager goes out on maternity leave, and Roberto, everyone comes together from above property. He comes help out. They get more people. They get a task force GM in there to learn and to grow. She's doing great work. And then Joan, the housekeeper supervisor who left, ends up recruiting a couple people to leave to come work for her. And everyone's kind of happy. And then a few more things happen. There's a promotion. There's a lot of change. Actually, I shouldn't say a lot of change. Regular change that happens at every hotel, right? This happens. And then so they didn't make a big deal out of it when uh, Eddie left, and when other people left. But what was happening every day was that for 4 or 5 days a week, these people, these core people who ended up leaving like one by one, they used to get together every day and walk the hotel, and they would write down things like, well, they would pick up trash themselves, right? But they would write down things like, "Hey, I've noticed the last couple days that this trash can is always full, like in the morning. So, oh, that's because the night auditor, left and didn't, or we replaced the night auditor, and that night auditor used to do that, but we really didn't add that to the new night auditor's list of things to do. So let's make sure that we do that." And then they do that, and then they add it to that person's list. They were the ones that were observing, watching, writing things down, passing it on to management to say, "This is what we observed." And then they would meet every week to say, "Is it getting better? Is it getting worse?" It was a consistent cog in that wheel, that chain that was keeping horrible things from happening. It was making good, decent things happen every single day, but it was keeping tragedy from happening. They went away, and within a few weeks, it happened very fast. It was a handful of weeks. I want to say 6 or 8 weeks. The For 3 months here, the hotel laundry accumulated lint through the air ducts, and for 3 months. And that was the reason for this, according to the insurance company. This was the reason. But I found out something different, okay? And the what I found out is many years ago. What I found out has led me into places under the hood, I guess, of many companies in that engagement chain, and it led me to start a company called Hospiamo, okay? in 2019. But the actual company started late 2016, just under a different name, but it was starting to investigate all of this, all of that entire chain: budgeting, forecasting, expense control, cost cutting initiatives, revenue producing initiatives. Okay. And so uh, this podcast is going deep into conversations and with people talking about that entire chain of owning and operating hotels in the United States. It will be engaging, informative, and we're going to go. I keep thinking about the word insights and deep. On the surface, for example, is what an insurance company finds to be the reason for a fire. But if you go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, you will find out that things like that can be avoided if you go deeper and look into the core issues of when things start to happen or start to break down, even though you got 50 or 60 band-aids on top of it trying to repair it. And so we're talking about building safety. We're talking about personal safety of guests and employees. We're talking about very big type topics, but very specific small decisions that are made every day in hotels that are we're going to be celebrating and honoring people that are making those decisions and the ones that are standing up for the people every single day at the property level. This is why we're calling it hotel stand up. I gave it a lot of thought, not too much, but a hotel stand up at the property level. Everybody that runs hotels knows what a stand up is. We're having a stand up meeting. And I've worked at hotels that don't do it, and I've worked at hotels that do it. And the ones that do it, it's that walkthrough that I was explaining before about this is where things are identified. This is where you stand up, sometimes sit down, but it happens every single day, at least every single week. And and this happened with me personally, when you leave that environment and grow in your career and you go what we call above property to start managing 2 hotels, 3 hotels, 25 hotels, you don't do stand-ups anymore. You don't do stand-ups at the corporate office. Now, almost every corporate office in the hotel industry, I know what they're going to say. We do stand-ups. I said it myself. Okay? So I know what all of the people are going to be saying is that we do that. We have HR budgets. We spend plenty on training. That's why we franchise with the best companies. We spend so much money on our people. We really wish we could do more, but wow, we already spend X amount of dollars. But I've seen the data. I'm telling you, I've been under the hood here. And this is what this podcast is all about. It's not pointing fingers. We have the research, and I'm going to be talking to hotel owners. And there's about 1.5, maybe 2% of the hotel owners out there that are able and have with me already. We already have recordings that have admitted that there is something that we can do better. And they don't immediately say, we're already doing so much. We're spending $3,000 a month, but and look at my P&L. It says here employee engagement. We spend money on this. It's not what it was 25 years ago. I know for a fact, and we've got the research, that 25 years ago, management engagement in those 3 buckets of are you engaged, are you disengaged, or are you actively disengaged? Engaged means you're coming into work and you're not thinking about another job. You're not thinking too much about your own personal financial situation. You're thinking about your job, mostly. When you're disengaged, you're thinking mostly about your personal financial situation. When you're actively disengaged, that's all you're thinking about. That's my definition. I used to recruit people in the hotel management industry, and the disengaged is that 65% chunk today that I was very easily pulling from other companies to say, "Hey, you wanna come work for me? Oh, sure. I don't even need to know anything about your company. You wanna give me an increase in pay? That's fine. Not? No? Good. 'Cause I'll go. I just need to change." 7% is where we're at today for engaged management. 25 years ago, it was over 40%. Over 40%. The highest that the United States in all industries has ever been is 32%. And the hotel management engagement 25 years ago was at 40, and today we're at 7. So we got about 50,000 people. We got our work cut out for us. About 50,000 people that equates to convert from the disengaged to engaged. I believe we can do it in 5 years. That's what Hospiamo exists to do. And welcome to our podcast. All I can promise is that it's going to get better every time, and we're going to be consistent at least once a week. I'm going to try to upload, I guess, or publish on Sunday nights or before like 8 in the morning on Mondays. It's going to get better and it's going to be consistent. And if you're watching this, thank you so much. Please subscribe, because the more subscribers that this channel gets, the more revenue potential that we have, because we share everything. Every dollar that comes in through this channel, we share it with the people at the property level doing the work. We have live episodes that have already started last week. Today's the 4th of June, 2023, by the way. So, well, I should say 2 weeks ago. So my brother and I committed to being consistent. And so we're doing live episodes every Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern time, LinkedIn Live, and it's being streamed on YouTube on this channel and on Facebook Live and some others too, Twitter and TikTok even. And that's happening every Thursday. And this podcast here is going to go deeper into those conversations that we have live. Okay. So we wanted it to be 30 minutes every Thursday live, but the last one was so amazing. It lasted an hour and 40 minutes. I get that that's too long, but we're going to cut it up a little bit and highlight all the people. But this podcast is about going deeper into the topics there. And this is all about the people at the property level that are standing up every single day. Their value is massive, massive, and nobody knows how to value it. That's what we're doing. And we're going to expose it. We're going to put a number to it, and they are going to benefit personally. Because go back to that thought process about going into work every day. We are going to get the majority of their time spent working and leading to be spent working and leading and not worried about their personal financial situation, job security, whether or not they're able to pay their bills, paycheck to paycheck kind of stuff. So we're sharing this revenue, we're sharing the value with everyone so that they can spend less time worrying about their own personal financial situation when they come into work. And we're not going to stop until we get to 100%, which means I am not stopping. I don't think that we'll get to 100%. It's just not the case. But we're at 7% engaged, 65% disengaged. I think it's like 28% actively disengaged, which, do your own research. It's not good for profits. It's not good for revenue. It's not good for the world. It's not good to stay at properties when you have a disengaged or an actively disengaged manager there. It's not good. It's not safe. And there's a 7% chance right now that if you're staying at a hotel that it is fully optimized as it relates to safety, security, and secondary is your own satisfaction and loyalty and happiness. But you got to make sure it's safe. And we're going back. We're going deeper. And thank you so much. I really appreciate it. My name's Adam, and I love you. I love this industry. Um, I was elevated at some point to go above property, but I've been back. I'm not at the hotel property level anymore, but I'm not going anywhere. I am with them in the field because that's what they want and need. And I'm just here trying to support them as much as possible, most of the time just virtually with this, with my own voice. So I'm going to try to amplify all their voices. I will do it. So going to get better, and I'm going to be consistent. I promise you. And thank you so much. Okay, bye. I love you.